Hello and welcome to Peggy's Tropical Garden, coming to you from the Florida Keys. Hi, it's Peggy from Peggy's Tropical Garden, coming to you with some tips for buying plants internationally. I'll also share information on things you should know that will minimize your chances of your plant being confiscated by customs. Probably the most important tip I have for you when buying from an international seller: read the ad closely. There's certain things you should look for in your ad. Pay special attention to the mode of shipping. Is your plant going to be sent airmail? Do they say it's going to be sent economy or surface? Airmail is really what you want when you're buying a plant internationally. It's the fastest way to get your plant from that country to your country. So there's a better likelihood that your plant will be living. If it says economy or surface, they're talking boat, slow boat. You're not going to get your plant anytime soon unless that country is very close to yours. So you really want to consider going for airmail. Does the seller's ad have a lot of disclaimers in it? Read those disclaimers. If they're basically saying we're going to put this box in the mail to you and whatever happens after that is whatever, it is what it is, you might want to pass. I look for sellers that have a willingness to take responsibility for the item getting to you in a condition that is usable. What do they say in terms of, will we refund your money if your plant arrives dead? What if your plant is confiscated by customs? What are their policies? If they don't mention anything about that, I would definitely move on. Does the seller's ad say anything about additional fees? Now, there are certain pieces of paperwork that should be included when buying a plant internationally, and one of those is a phyto certificate. Now, there are sellers out there that will put that plant in a box and send it to you. If that box gets stopped in customs and it doesn't have the appropriate paperwork, your plant will be confiscated. Phyto certificates will cost you a bit more. Some sellers actually will include them free with the cost of your plant. Others will charge you an additional $10, $50. I don't know if they charge based on how many plants or the expense of the plant. I'm not sure. But I know that usually I'll buy one or two plants. I pay anywhere from $10 to $25 for phyto certificates so that my plant is able to make it through customs because it has the appropriate documentation. Also, what are the shipping fees? If you're buying a plant for $10, are you willing to pay a $40 shipping fee for a small plant? Things you want to consider: know what the policy is. Make sure you read in the ad what you're going to be charged for. Also know that there may be custom fees that are charged directly to you when your plant arrives to the States. And upon delivery, they're going to expect you to pay the custom fees if there are some. So just be aware of that anytime you're buying internationally. Another thing to look for is the plant rooted or is it a cutting? Now, I will not buy cuttings internationally for the simple fact that international packages take some time and there's a good chance that that cutting won't make it. So I definitely will not buy a plant internationally unless it is a rooted plant and a well-established rooted plant. One of my big things I stress to you is the method of payment. Only use methods of payment that offer some kind of recourse if you do not receive your item. That means using PayPal or on Etsy. They have their own payment thing and they do have some guarantees in there. Do not send cash, because if you don't get your item, what are you going to do? A lot of times the sellers will work with you, but if you get one that is uncooperative and you've paid cash, you have no recourse. There's no way for you to get your money back. So I highly recommend that you only pay using established methods that give you some kind of recourse. You need to have realistic expectation. Your plant is traveling from one country to another, from one climate to another, in very close proximity to yours, it's going to take time. And that means that your plant will show some stress. It may show some signs of dehydration. You're the kind of person that's going to really get upset when your plant is not perky and fresh and new. Don't buy internationally, because you're setting yourself up for disappointment. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be stress. So if that's going to stress you out too much, then I would urge you not to buy this way. Now, some sellers will tell you in their ad that they ship next day, so you'll get your plant quickly. They can tell you that they ship next day because that is within their control. There's no telling how long your item will be held up in customs. Sometimes they're just held in customs longer than others. There's no way of that seller knowing that in advance or having any control over that. So they really can't tell you how long it's going to take to get your package. They can tell you how long it's going to take them to mail it, but they can't give you any real indication of how long it's going to take you to get that package. So do have realistic expectations. Also know that no matter what your seller does, there's a possibility that your plant will be confiscated. And the reason I say that, even if they send every form that's supposed to be with it, they've done everything they're supposed to do, if that plant gets to customs and the customs officials decides that it looks like there may be a bug on that plant, or the plant looks like it may have an illness or something, then that plant is going to be confiscated and destroyed. There's nothing more disappointing than buying a plant internationally, waiting forever to get it. It finally arrives, you open the box, and it's an empty box. There's no plant, only a letter from customs saying your plant has been confiscated and destroyed. Not a good feeling. There are some things to look for that will help make the likelihood of your plant being confiscated minimal, okay? I'm going to show you the packaging of a plant that I just recently received from an international order. And this one, as you can see here from the postage, came from Thailand. It was sent airmail priority, meaning that it was sent via air, and priority, so it got here as quickly as possible. It also shows that it was registered, and what that means is that I had a tracking number for this package. Things can take days, things can take months. So having a tracking number, I always like to deal with sellers who offer some kind of way of tracking. I want to know where my plant is. I want to know that I can go in here, look up this number, and I know exactly where my plant is. I know it's stuck in customs. I know it's in the state. I know where, it's being delivered on Wednesday. That helps me not have to keep bugging the seller. Did you mail it? Did you mail it? Where's my plant? I haven't gotten it. It just gives you a little peace of mind, and you know where your plant is. Another thing that should be on there is a U.S. customs form if you're in the United States. This is a customs form, and it tells the customs officials what exactly is said to be in this box, the number of plants, and the value. That value that's written in is the value that you're going to be, if you're going to be charged an import tax, it's going to be based on the value of that plant. So if it's a $500 plant, then they're going to charge your import tax based on that $500. On the side here where it says copy, this is a copy of a FIDO certificate, and I'm going to show you an actual FIDO certificate because you're usually charged extra for that certificate. And if you're going to be paying for something, you need to know that you're actually paying for an authentic certificate. It is possible to pay $20 for a FIDO certificate, and then you get a fake copy of one. So I'm going to show you exactly what a FIDO certificate looks like, and there should also be a copy of that on the outside of your package so that customs officials can pull it out and check what they need to check for the Department of Agriculture. And I have that FIDO certificate right here. Okay, here's a copy of a FIDO certificate issued by the Department of Agriculture. And this is filled out by the seller in their country, all right? It also has an emblem, and on this emblem, I don't know if you can see it, it says Thailand, and that's the country from where the package was sent. All right, it gives the seller's address, it gives your address, which is why I have this hole in mine. I cut out my address. It tells the place of origin, the method of conveyance, which was air, declared point of entry, United States. It tells the plant, the type of plant. I mean, they're so specific. It says Sansevieria 2, which is exactly what I ordered. It doesn't just say 2 plants. It says Sansevieria, okay? So very specific. It gives you the date of inspection. And down here is the important part. It's the disinfection and or disinfection treatment, okay? And it tells you when this plant was treated or disinfected, the method. My plants were dipped. It tells you the name of the chemical, how long, and the duration of the treatment. Mine says 15 minutes, the concentration of the solution, and who treated it. And again, you'll see down here, the emblem, Department of Agriculture. So this is what should be on any phyto certificate. Those things will help your package get through customs. When they have the customs declaration certificate, the phyto certificate, there's a better chance that your plant will make it through customs, even if they stop it, open your box and inspect it, as long as it does contain exactly what it says on the certificates and on the customs form. In all likelihood, if that plant is healthy and ready to go, you will receive your plant. So, is it possible for plants to get through with none of this paperwork? Absolutely, it happens also. But my thing is, if I'm going to spend money on a plant, I want to make sure I get it. I have added this seller to my list of international sellers, and I will do business with him again because I know that he includes all the necessary documents that will make it more likely that my plants will get through customs with no problem. I hope you found this video interesting as well as educational. Hope that if you have never ordered a plant internationally and you find something you like, or you know of something you've already seen, that you might be willing now to go on out there and take that chance and make that purchase. Go ahead, give it a try. If you have purchased internationally, write down in the comments below, share your experiences with us. Mine have all been good. Even when I did get my plant confiscated, seller refunded my money, no problem. So even that was a positive experience for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.